Hey guys! So today I'm going to tell you the story of when I was stuck in an elevator for probably about 47 minutes. And just for reference, this was an older elevator. It was in my school. I was about 16 at the time, so this was a while ago. But to my knowledge, they haven't changed their elevator out at all, so they're still using the same old elevator. And this school is fairly old too, like my parents went there, again for reference. I'm not going to name the school, and I'm going to use fake names for everybody but myself, just because, you know. But so I was in grade 11, I was 16, and the school itself was 3 stories high and held like 1,200 kids. So it was a medium-sized school for a lot of kids. And how the elevator worked, it was kind of the size of a broom closet. You could fit like one wheelchair and like one electric wheelchair and 2 people in there if they were just standing. And then it had a little toggle switch that you would either turn left for down or right for up, and it was labeled. And then on the inside of the elevator, it had the same switch. So if you wanted to bring it down, everybody who was granted access to the elevator would get a key, and they would put their key in, turn it on, basically, you know, telling the elevator it needed to do something because it was that old. Then they would turn the little toggle switch to wherever they were. So if they were on the 2nd floor and they needed it to come down, they would turn it down towards the downside. If they wanted to bring it up from the 1st floor, because it was very obvious if it wasn't there, they would turn it to the up section. So fairly simple, and by this point I had been using this elevator for a year, so I was very used to it. And our high school went from grade 10 to 11 and 12. So, and it had French immersion in it as well. So I don't know, just side note. But you weren't really supposed to take friends with you, but everybody who used the elevator on a regular basis kind of did, but we tried to like be sneaky about it. So one day, my friend, we'll call her Brittany, and I were both going to science class on the 3rd floor, so the top floor of the school, and it was first period. And I don't remember what we were talking about, but I remember saying to her I would explain whatever science concept it was to her when we got stuck in the elevator on the way down. So we go to class, we kind of laugh it off, like, yeah, we're not going to get stuck in the elevator. Then, lo and behold, we get in the elevator after class, and she had band class on the 1st floor, and I had geography on the 1st floor. So we were going down, and it was fine, and then all of a sudden we were stuck between the 2nd and 3rd floor. So we could barely see the 3rd floor anymore, but like we were halfway into the 2nd floor, so people on the 2nd floor could see like the lower half of us, like probably our legs, but they couldn't see anything else. And it was kind of interesting because we first didn't believe it, and then once we figured it out, we had to convince people that we were actually stuck. And eventually one of our teachers, let's call her Mrs. Smith, she came to us and said, like, are you girls actually stuck? We said, like, yes we are. And I will also say my friend was claustrophobic, so scared of like small spaces, and she didn't wasn't coping well at all. Like, there was, oh my god, I'm never gonna see my cats again. Oh my god, like, I'm gonna die. Seriously, it was that bad. It was kind of hilarious, but I had to sympathize with her because she's like stuck in this tiny little box hovering in the air. And nobody was really taking us seriously. And we said, yes, like, get the office, get somebody. And previously we had tried to use the phone because there was a little capsule where obviously there was a phone, there would have been a phone, but we opened the little door to the quote-unquote phone and there was no phone there. And when I asked why afterwards, they said, oh, because people were ordering pizza to the elevator, so we took it out. I said, well, is that not a safety issue? And they're like, well, I guess we'll have to put it back in. And I was like, I guess we'll have to put it back in? What? Like, I was stuck in there for 47 minutes. But I am the kind of person who is very, like, kind of calm in these types of situations. So I was like, okay, Brittany, it's gonna be okay. Like, this is also when Grey's Anatomy was maybe in its, like, second or third season. So I was like, do you remember the time in that Grey's Anatomy episode where, like, George was stuck in the elevator? Blah, 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 blah. And she was like, yeah, the guy died, I'm gonna die. I was like, oh, great. That was not the perfect reference to make at this point, Mindy. So the office gets called and the caretakers get called, and there was literally one person in the basement, one person on the first floor, one person on the second, and one person on the third. And they all had walkie-talkies. And they were trying to figure out how to get us down. So it comes to their attention, they need a key. But this key is at a different school, and that school is 15 minutes away. And so they tell me all of this. My friend Brittany is hyperventilating in the corner, and I'm going, okay, I'm now sitting on the floor doing my science homework, because I'm like, I could be stuck in here for an hour, I could be stuck in here for 2 hours, who knows, my entire day could be shot. So I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever, I'm just rolling with it, we'll deal with it. So when they go to get the key from the other school, another caretaker says to us as a joke, oh, I hope you brought your lunches, which set Brittany off again. And Brittany was going, I'm gonna be stuck in here forever. And I said to this guy, I had no mercy. I mean, I wasn't swearing, I wasn't being rude, but I was like, thank you, I'm yelling this like down to like the first floor. Thank you for, leaving me with this, like, look at what you've done now. Now she's freaking out again. Great, like, thanks, dude. So, finally get her calmed down again, and they find said key or something, or maybe what did they say? Oh no, it was going to take too long, so they were going to figure out something. And eventually, they started to manually pull us down. They were like, are you down yet? Are you down yet? Are you down yet? And I remember being like, no, you'll hear a clink. You'll hear a clank. They're like, no. So they tried it their way. And I kept yelling, like, no, listen to me, you're gonna hear a clank. Like a big crash. Like, that's the only way I can explain it. And they said, well, no, we were doing it our way. And I said, okay. I kept yelling, and they eventually realized, well, maybe we should, like, actually listen to the girl who's stuck in the elevator. So they keep going, and eventually, of course, they hear this clank. And I'm like, okay, now we're on the ground. And I swear, Brittany ran out of that elevator like a bat out of hell. She was, like, freaking out. She was like, I'm free, almost. It was horrible. So I remember running to my class, and the teacher and the TA, who were both in the class at the time, because apparently I had to have like different assistants help me in classes even if I didn't need them at the time. I went in and I explained that I was just stuck in the elevator and could I go to the washroom. And they, of course, yes. And then the TA says, well, where, like the aide, where was your cell phone? Like you could have just called 911 or something. And I said, oh, my cell phone was in my locker, here. She says, well, why aren't you carrying your cell phone? I said, well, because it's not allowed. And she says, well, no, you're allowed to carry it. I was like, okay, well, that really helps now. But eventually they got everything fixed. I think it was out of commission for the next day or two. And then 2 weeks later, I had finally convinced my friend Brittany that elevators were not horrible and that, you know, she could do this, like we would go up together, like, you know, she had to conquer her fear. So we go up, it's fine, and as we're coming down, lo and behold, again, we get stuck. And she starts yelling, you're a jinx, you're a jinx, I'm not going to be in any elevators anymore. And to my knowledge, I don't think she really has gotten into any elevators anymore. She didn't get into any elevators when I was there with her ever again. But thankfully, they knew how to get us down so that we were only stuck in there for like 10 to 15 minutes. So let this be a warning. If you are going into any kind of sketchy elevators, like try and get somebody to, maybe from the company or from the school, to come with you the first couple of times. Make sure there's a phone in the elevator, and make sure you're comfortable using it before you like embark on things by yourself, if it happens to be like a freight elevator like mine was. But I hope you at least got a laugh out of this story. It is definitely one that I will remember from my high school years. And if you liked it, please rate, comment, and subscribe. And all of my links are down below. And I will see you on Sunday. Alright guys, bye.